right, so here's the deal, right? I don't know if you can see how dark it is outside, but the people I'm around just waited until it got this dark to want to start putting on a show, trying to provoke some type of, feeling or vibe of animosity. So I pretty much haven't really said anything to anybody. It's like a person, they walked past me and they said, "What's up?" And okay, I didn't say anything, right? But am I wrong for not saying anything? When I know this person, they be coming out of their mouth real slick at me all the time and shit. I don't want to start that conversation, So I just didn't say anything. And because I didn't say anything, now that's a problem. And now, see, I'm recording in real time. What you can see is this is the reality. It's like super dark outside. I'm pretty sure you haven't seen one street light yet. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm in a place that's extremely dark, right? And I really don't have any transportation. You see that I'm driving right now, but I'm borrowing somebody else's vehicle. That's the main issue. I'm borrowing somebody else's vehicle. And the vehicle that I'm borrowing belongs all the way out here in the middle of nowhere, complete darkness, right? So I'm about to pull up in a little while. But see, what happens all the way out here in the middle of nowhere is that it's not always dark out here in the middle of nowhere, because it does have some daylight to it too, right? But people want to wait until it gets dark, right? People want to wait until it gets dark outside to try to start conflict or whatever with me. And so my only exit is to leave away from around the area where people may potentially want to start acting a certain way. That's the only thing I can do is leave, right? So what people like to try to do is they like to try to prevent me from leaving, or they criticize whatever I do. And I'm just minding my business, just trying to live life. And it's like people have banded against me, and it's like everything they try to do is to try to shame me. It's like they're always trying to shame me my whole life, the whole time. Shame on you for this and shame on you for that. And so, and this is real time. Like I haven't stopped broadcasting, but this is what it looks like. It's like extremely dark out here. I'm a social person. I like to be around people and the lights and all kinds of stuff like that. But see, when you take a social person out of a social environment and you stick them in isolation, it forces that person to be somewhat antisocial, because, you really don't have a choice as to who you socialize with in an isolated environment. So it's like you're forced to, be around the same people all the time. And so if you don't agree with, vibes or frequencies that people may be on, you want to try to isolate yourself from somebody's vibe that they may be putting off or whatever. And it seems like even in an attempt to isolate yourself or to self-isolate, it's always the criticism, and the down talking and the shaming. And, it's like a never-ending thing, and the root cause of the problem in itself is transportation, personal transportation. I do not have my own car. My own car does not run, therefore I cannot go as far as I want to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm always bound by somebody else's limitations somehow, and they like to keep me in a dark place like this so they can try to shame me my whole life, around certain people. You know what I'm saying? But I've experienced life away from certain people that like to try to shame me or, bind me or whatever. And my life is pretty decent, believe it or not, when I get around a different, crowd of individuals. It's like reality changes. I mean, it literally does. Reality changes and you see a different side of life. And it's like a seesaw, effect where it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. You're used to at least the transition of up and down. But, people, it's like, they just want it to be one way. And, everybody wants to be up. Nobody wants to be down. Somebody has to be down. And so if a person, perceives an individual as being down, they think that's the way it's supposed to be. Like it's supposed to be like that because you've grown accustomed to, seeing certain things. Because, I mean, how many people really like change? You know what I'm saying? So when you're used to seeing a person in a certain situation in life, you may not be able to accept the change of a person's reality that may not be the same anymore. You know what I'm saying? And for the better, and because of that, it's like people don't want to help you make that change, because they don't like change. No one really likes that. So when people actually see the transition from what once was to what is now, or what is to become of, the present, it's like they feel like they need to interject their criticism, you know, into a person's situation somehow. And that's what I don't understand. And it's like it's a space issue, because these problems only exist when there's not enough space between, certain individuals. But anyway, I mean, if this was all you saw all the time, complete darkness all the time, because you really couldn't, get away from the darkness if you wanted to, you know. I mean, I'm pretty sure reality would change for a lot of people, you know. And see, this has been my reality for the past 8 years. Prior to the past 8 years, I've done a lot of traveling. I've been to 44 states in America by land, so I've seen a lot of different places, encountered a lot of different people. I've had a lot of different experiences. And so when you go from, constantly having all kinds of different positive experiences, building with people all the time, you're building yourself up as an individual, and that takes time and dedication to, even do that in the first place. And then, you find yourself in the wrong situation or in the wrong location, and it's like it reverses all of the progression that has been made, and it's like it feels like you got to start all over again, you know. But it's like once you've made a certain amount of progression and you already know what the experience is like, and then you find yourself in a situation where, society wants to force you to start all over again. It's like, what's the point? Because you've already been there, done that. That's what people are striving to work towards. So, I mean, but it just makes it worse when you're trying to isolate yourself from bad vibes or whatever. And it seems like, you just can't shake it, you know. But anyway.